Live from the Washington, D.C. area, it's the Emerald Planet. All the ecology news that our viewers want to know. Now, here's your host, Executive Director of the Emerald Planet, Dr. Sam Lee Hancock.
Hello, I'm Dr. Sam Hancock of Emerald Planet TV. We come to you live from Maharashtra State in the great nation of India. We're here at the Baramati Agricultural Displays and Expo. Here we're looking at over 1,000 best practices from all over India that actually can be exported to the world, as well as being used by farmers and consumers in this great country. I have right beside me Dr. Milind Joshi. He is a subject matter specialist in plant protection, and also he is the Baramati Agricultural Trust Development. So thank you for being with us.
Thank you, sir. My pleasure.
Now we're standing here with all these beehives, but yet you're a subject matter specialist in plant protection.
Yeah.
Now what's the intersect between plant protection and the bees?
Actually, plant protection means the protection of the plant from the harmful insects, and bees is also the part of insect taxonomy. So we have to protect them as they are the major pollinators all over the globe. Therefore, as a being an entomologist, I am trying to make them conservation, and through different practices, the IPM and use of biopesticides, biofertilizers, I am trying through this organization to educate the farmers to use the safer pesticides which will be able to increase the population of the honeybees.
Now the whole thing about honeybees, many people think that honeybees, they're frightened of them, they're going to sting me, they're not my friend, but yet every human being on the planet and every plant, the bee is their number one friend. Yeah. So why is the honeybee the number one friend?
Actually, each coin has two sides, positive and negative, head and tail, but mainly we are mostly emphasizing on the negative one. No doubt that they have the stings and they are some kind of poisonous, but the different species have different impacts. Likewise, Apis mellifera, Apis cerana indica in Indian conditions are the major pollinators that can be domesticated. But we are afraid about the wild species like Apis dorsata, which is the major one, which is poisonous and which is mainly cause for the death of the farmers or any other person due to the stunts.
So looking at the bees, you said these are all domesticated and we have about 300 hives here. So what would be the number of bees and why are they so busy? We're getting near nightfall, but yet the bees are still very busy. What are they doing and how are they helping humankind?
As per the saying of the great scientist Albert Einstein, he was a great scientist and a great pollinator, a global pollinator also. He has said that if the bees appear today, so after about 5 to 6 years, there will be no humans on the world, on the globe. Because out of our food consumption, about 30 to 35% or about 50% food is coming due to the cross-pollination or the pollination carried out by the bees.
So let's state that again. You're saying Albert Einstein said that if the bees disappeared today, 3 to 5 years, humankind would disappear. Yeah. And tell us again why that is the case.
Yeah, no doubt most of the humans are the non-vegetarians, but the feed or the food coming or the fodder coming to that particular animals that are being cutted and being eaten by the humans is also the part of bee pollination. So that's why those are important. Most of the fruits that are the part of economy of the nation, that are building the economy of the nation, are cross-pollinated with the help of the bees.
Now looking at the pollinators, particularly the honeybee, they actually make a product which most people enjoy and like. But looking at all of the plants around us, tell us some of the plants that absolutely must have the honeybees for pollination, and we humans depend on those plants.
Actually, honeybees are working in most of the plants, but the pollen and nectar source of each plant is different. So they will be giving us the pollen and nectar as depending on that particular plant. But if we consider for the agricultural importance and increasing the crop productivity of the particular domesticated or the cultivated crops, there are the pulses, there are the fruit crops, the vegetables, which will be benefited up to the yield increase of about 30 to 35% by the bees, by the use of bees.
Now, looking at the pollination, cross pollination, you're saying 30 to 35%. How are the other cross pollination happening, and how are the bees augmenting that other type of cross pollination?
There are different factors or the agents that are making the process complete of the pollination. Maybe the wind, like the air, the water, the different pests like thrips and others. But the different parts of these or the processes are some kind of incomplete, and the fertilization is not totally covered. The fruit set may be immature or like that, some kind of guiltiness will be there, but the pollination done by the honeybees is a total one. Like in case of pomegranate, which is the major cash crop of this area, the drought prone area, the farmers that are being benefited with the use of beehives for the pollination, they have got only the single harvest. Otherwise they have to go for 2 or 3 harvest of the crop.
That's absolutely amazing. I didn't realize that. So looking at the cross-pollination as far as the honeybees are concerned, looking at honey as a product of this whole process, why is that so important to the food stock, to the farmers as a cash crop, and then to the consumers as far as something that they want to have in their diet?
Actually, I believe in God, and God has created much more important environmental factors for us. Honeybee, we are just thinking about the honey, but it can be a great entrepreneurship for the rural area. I will just give you the summary of our organizational work. Since establishment in 1970 by Honorable Pawar Saab, and then after taken up by late Honorable Appasai Pawar, they were emphasizing on the increasing population to be filled by the rural employment. They have worked on the rural employment enterprises like the dairy, poultry, sheep, goat, apiculture and sericulture. Since 2012, we are having these kind of trainings, technical trainings on beekeeping in our KVK. Also, in 2015, we introduced an MOU with the Indian Council of Agricultural Research, New Delhi, that is the main branch of agriculture in Indian agriculture research, education and extension, and also with the help of CropLife India. We implemented the project Madhu Sandesh. For that, we have given only 2 crops, the 2 pilot crops, onion seed production, which is also benefited by the pollination due to honeybee, and the pomegranate crop. In these 3 years, we have got the good results, up to 30 to 35% yield increase. But also, some of the farmers that are now well aware about the practicing or the management of the bees, they are now started the beekeeping as the entrepreneurship. So, to feed the increasing population of the particular rural Indian condition or these parts, so beekeeping can be a great agri-allied business.
Now, looking at the investment, normally we don't really get into the investments, but something about bees just captivate my interest, because on our farm and our ranch in Virginia in the United States, we had wild bees. And so once or twice in every 2 years, we would go and we would cut what's called a bee tree. And we would take the honey. Some of the honey was 10 to 12 years old. It was absolutely fantastic. But looking at the investment as far as these domesticated bees, what would a farmer need to do to get fully involved and engaged in beekeeping that would augment everything else that he's already or she is already doing?
I think investment is a minor thing, because only about 50,000 rupees is the investment for about 10 boxes, 10 beehives. But the dedication is much more important. He has to take care of the spring schedules for his different crops. Also, the dedicated work to maintain the bee health, because bee health is a major problem in India. So if it is disturbed, all the progeny will be disturbed. So he has to plant the different pollen sources, pollen and nectar sources as a major crops, also as an intercrop, or on the burn sides of the field likewise.
Now, looking at the crops that the farmers may want to plant, what would be advantageous to the bees so that they actually have good health and good nectar, which feeds them, but at the same time would be a better set of crops as far as what you're calling the intercropping or the integrated cropping process that is being discovered here at Baramati as far as the Agricultural Trust is concerned?
Baramati or this part is the drought prone area. We are receiving the late rainfall in the month of September, and major growing season is the Rabi season. That is the September to January, February. So these crops are like the Rabi sorghum and the maize, which are the good sources. Also, we are trying to have mustard, sunflower, that can be the good sources. The drumstick is there. Eucalyptus on the canal side is the good source. Coconut is there.
So there's really multiplicity as far as crops are concerned that can be advantageous to the bees and to the farmers themselves.
That can be advantageous, like different products. Instead of honey, we are also receiving the royal jelly, which is the good quality product with the higher, we can say, the foreign exchange we will get. There is propolis is there, which is used in the dyes. Considering this, the importance of honeybee in the increasing crop productivity and national income, through our organization we have requested Honorable Prime Minister of India to declare it as a national insect of India, such that the conservation strategies for the particular insect, the beneficial friendly insects, can be identified, and same can be implemented all over the India.
Well, you said you are the friend of bees. Now I understand why you said you are the real friend of honeybees as far as India is concerned. One of the interesting topics is that you're actually working with the minority tribes all across India to increase beekeeping among that. Why is that so important, and what can the minorities teach the main Indian population about bees and bee husbandry?
Through this organization, we are training the farming community and the rural youth. Also, we are empowering the farm women for the beekeeping. But the fact is, some of the minority or the communities are truly working in the field of beekeeping, but they are traditionally hunting the bees, and they are killing, or due to the unscientific method harvesting of the honey, they are killing the queens of the particular natural habitat of this beehive. So they will get the honey, but the population of these bees will be decreased. So now through the organization we are trying to train that particular minority or the categories through the technical sessions, such that the bee will not be disturbed. They will be harvesting the honey a scientific way, and again that particular honey, the hive or that particular natural habitat, can be again used for the honey extraction.
What do you see for the growth and development of the honey business in India over the next 5, 10, and 15 years?
Next 5 to 10 years, the honey production will be going on increasing, because now the government is emphasizing on the production of legumes, which will be the main source of pollens and nectars. Also the oil seeds, and the farmers are now much more aware about the harmful effects of the pesticides that may be the pathway to increase the natural populations of the bees, that will be directly benefiting the production of honey.
So the whole thing about this is that we're expanding the availability of honey, which is increasing and improving the diet of the Indians within the country. At the same time is that we're actually increasing the pollination of plants, which could increase crop productivity. Well, thank you for being with us, Dr. Joshi. This is really fascinating for me. Thank you as we look around the globe to be the Emerald Planet.
You made your house a reality. Homeschooling your cell phone loans, color-coding listings, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. If you can ace house hunting, you can do it for retirement. Get on track with tips at aceyourretirement.org.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know.
Listen, I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you judge me for having a problem. No one is going to know that I need help. I need help. I know that no one is going to judge me for having a problem. I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you listen.
Open road, here comes the Heffley family.
Whether it's a short trip or a long haul,
estimated time 47 hours.
they will beg,
You're hungry? I'm happy to provide.
they will plead.
Deep fried butter on a stick.
But whatever you do, don't wimp out.
Now you're talking.
Make them buckle up.
He can't hurt.
Remember, safety first. Cheese curls second.
Are you orange?
We're back to the Emerald Planet. Here again, your host, Dr. Sam.
Hello, I'm Dr. Sam Hancock of Emerald Planet and Emerald Planet TV. Normally we're coming to you from Washington, D.C. in the United States, but now we're in the great country of India. We're in Baramati, which is a city in Maharashtra state and is one of the fastest growing areas in this whole region. We're here because of the Agricultural Demonstration Field Days and EXPO. We're looking at over 1,000, yes, 1,000 best practices from all over the country of India and from overseas. Sitting right beside me is Mr. Mahesh Patil, who is a director of Agricultural Graduates Association, and welcome to the Emerald Planet TV.
Sam, welcome. Thank you.
We're glad to have you. Tell us a little bit about the Agricultural Graduates Association. What does that actually mean, and what is your membership?
Actually, our organization we founded this organization in 2012, and in our state there was no any association like this organization. We all are graduates from some universities. We decided to work for farmers, so we formed our organization, and we named this organization as Agriculture and Graduates Organization, and we are working for farmers.
Now, when you say you're working for farmers, I assume you're working with farmers as well. So what types of graduates do you have? What different types of institutions of higher learning are part of your association?
Actually, we have one division. It is actually big division, and we are doing business of training in agriculture. We are giving training. We will be giving training to farmers, and some of them are taking technologies from us. This division is dedicated to training, entrepreneurship training, and agriculture training.
Now, you're saying the Graduates Association, so the graduates of colleges and universities in agriculture then are actually doing training for other farmers? Or it's just the fact that you're bringing all the farmers together and this is like an advanced course for these farmers?
Actually, we are in designing the courses. We launching some courses. Every year we launching Israel technology exposures, or some are national programs. We are exposing Sikkim organic agriculture. Sikkim is one of our state in India. So like that we are designing the courses. We are launching into farmers and they are taking admissions. Now this is our core area of our working, and for some programs we are associated with our state government. Very closely we are working with them. They designed syllabus and we will organize the trainings.
Now, these courses, are these online virtual courses, or are these actually being held at a campus of a college or university or in a hotel? How do you actually deliver these courses to the farmers?
Actually, agriculture is a practical field, so there is no need to give them theoretical knowledge. So we have to go on field and take a training or take a knowledge. Some entrepreneurship training courses we are doing in classrooms, but agriculture courses and exposure visits we are taking in farms.
Now, how do you select the courses that you're going to be offering, and then how do you develop the curricula to match each of those courses?
Actually, we have some pockets. We study pocket base because Nashik, if you go to Nashik, there is grape fields are more in Nashik. When you came Baramati, here is pomegranate. So we assess the need of farmer, then we design the curriculum. When we actually got their need, then we design the appropriate curriculum, and then we will launch the courses.
Now, looking at the how do you decide what courses and how do you make contact with the farmers? Is there a master list for all the country of India or each state? How do you get access to these names?
Actually, before 4 or 5 years, there was a problem in mobile marketing, or there was no so many tools. But now we have social media. We on Facebook, on WhatsApp, on mobile phones, we got many admissions, and there is no problem for admissions. Mouth publicity is also very important. When our participant gets satisfied, he tell to his colleague that you also take admission with this association. That is also important factor, because when he establish and he go further for his next level, he tells to his friends, because of this institution I got this opportunity. So mouth publicity is also important, and that's it.
Now, looking at when they finish the course, I would assume these are some hours long, so maybe a few hours to all day, maybe a weekend. What are they given at the end of each course that they take and complete successfully?
Actually, for some courses, state government is giving grant to us, funds. Some funds state government giving to us. Some programs are private programs. Some are sponsored, some are non-sponsored, and some fees like varies from 50,000 to 1,50,000.
But what do they receive when they graduate or they finish that particular course?
Actually, our motive is that for farmers, our organization name is Agriculture and Graduates Association. Our motive is that we can establish graduate as an entrepreneur and establish farmer as a technologist.
But when they finish, I keep asking this question, what do they receive? Do they get a certificate? Do they get a diploma? What is it that they're getting for each course? And then do you have a series of courses, and then they would graduate, and then they would go to the next higher level?
Actually, we are giving certificates. Our organization is government certified organization. Our own certificate we are giving, and some certificates given by government.
So your association and the government maybe is collaborating and granting the certificates for that. Now, when a farmer finishes your course, they get their certificate, they go back home. What is the feeling among the family members, among the people in the community about the fact they went to this course, they come back with their beautiful certificate? How does that impact the family and the community?
Actually, I interacted with many students, my association having many students. When student came into institute, he is just a piece of raw piece. But when we finish him, he is very able to deliver for society. He is delivering his knowledge to agriculture society, to farmers. He is distributing technology, and he is doing good business. And this certificate is a good memory for him, that he can take motivation from that certificate.
Now, how many farmers have you had through your different courses over a certain period of time? And what type of follow-up studies are you doing with those farmers as far as how satisfied they are, what other courses they need, how long the courses should be offered, and those types of conditions?
Actually, we have 500 plus base of our members. We have 500 and more members, farmer members. Our association giving lifetime membership to our farmers. and they are demanding every year. Their demand is changing. According to that, we are designing our courses. Some farmers are demanding for Israel technology exposure. Some farmers are demanding for Peru and Chile. Maybe you know that Peru and Chile is producing more grapes. Some farmers are demanding Europe. Some farmers are demanding Australia, and some farmers are demanding local area likewise courses. So we are working like on-demand courses, and we are working in field.
Well, it sounds like you're doing a very admirable work following up, making sure that the courses are appropriate to the farmers and the needs of the local communities. Give us, say, 4 or 5 different topics or titles of courses just for the viewers to understand maybe the breadth of what you're offering.
Our very famous product is here, educational product is Israel Agriculture Technology Exposure. That is our one product. Second product is our entrepreneurship training course offered by government, which holding by our association, but it is government sponsored course. That is also famous among the graduates. And third one is organic farming course is also farmers are much interested in that course.
What would be 4th and 5th in that long list?
I will not expose this right now, but I am going to study farmers' mentality. What his want, his need is what. We have to study that, because 3-4 products are just we are small baby. We are going a long way to go. So we will study and then we will launch some good things.
Well, looking at this, it sounds like you're doing a very good job with the farmers. You have 3 major areas: Israelis, as far as the technologies from there, entrepreneurship, and organic farming, and those are 3 really chief topics, actually worldwide, because the Israelis are very widely recognized as having great technologies. We have about 1 minute left. What do you see for the growth and expansion of your agriculture graduates association next 5, 10, and 15 years? And we have to be quick.
Next 5 years, I have planned to train our graduates and farmers in entrepreneurship, because agriculture is undulating and there is much problems, sometimes natural calamities or whatever. So entrepreneurship training is necessary nowadays.
Okay, what's the last point? Then we have to stop.
Yeah.
One more point?
No, entrepreneurship training is my motto.
That's really
the key. Next 5 years, and we will expose every country's agriculture to our Maharashtra farmers and Indian farmers.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you very much for being with us, and thank you for being with us as we look what's going on in Maharashtra state and in this area. And this is Mahesh, Patil, and thank you for being here as we look around the globe to create the Emerald Planet.
For all the papas out there, let's stop what we're doing and take a moment to be with our kids. They can be loud moments, goofy moments, dorky moments. It doesn't really matter. Every time dads take a moment to be with their kids, it's pretty momentous. So let's all take a moment to make a moment today.
Hey, did you know that 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Go to theshelterpetproject.org and search your local shelters and rescues. Go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.
Okay, so we drowned the fire, stirred it, drowned it again, and now just feel if it's cold.
Yeah.
Cool.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
I know. I already posted it.
We cannot be bystanders.
We can stop to make sure someone is okay.
We can warn someone when their drink isn't safe.
And disrupt the situation.
We can.
Get someone a cab.
Or walk them home safely.
We can make campuses safer for our friends.
Our roommates.
Our classmates. Our fellow human beings.
We cannot be bystanders.
We can.
intervene.
It's on us.
All of us.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
When it comes to saving money,
What? Parents!
don't act like a baby.
Oh, it's like they're having their own little meeting.
This is so humiliating. Be the boss.
I'm the boss.
What the?
Power nap. You were saying.
And make a budget.
Let's get to work.
Need a little help?
Stacy, read back the notes.
I can't read. What's it say?
Create a personalized savings plan and get other tools and tips
We can share.
You obviously didn't go to business school.
at feedthepig.org.
We're back to the Emerald Planet. Here again, your host, Dr. Sam.
Hello, I'm Dr. Sam Hancock, coming to you from Pune District in Maharashtra State in the country of India. We're here for the Krushik Agricultural Exhibition and Expo. And we're talking with the people that represent the best practices of India to share around the United States and overseas. I have standing right beside me is Mahendra Shahir. He is part of the Maharashtra State Grape Growers Association. And thank you for being with us.
Yes, thank you.
Being at this famous exhibition, why would you come representing your grape association?
This is the opportunity to the entire grape industry in Maharashtra and India, that all the innovative practices which are there, followed by the grape growers and all the universities and the KVKs, which are the Krishi Vikas Kendra like this in India, they are giving to the growers the innovative technology every year. And this is the right place to visit, because the many of the trials and the practices which are used by this particular KVK, they are focused in this particular association to the almost all the growers and the farmers to the Maharashtra state.
Now, looking at this, and you're talking about the best practices, which is what Emerald Planet is all about, sharing around the globe. Looking at the activities here, what makes this the location to have so many best practices in one location?
Basically, this Baramati Agro or the Baramati Krushik is the basic concept which is followed by all the growers in Maharashtra, because the person who is in charge of this all the activities, or the chairman or the trustees to this particular Baramati Agro or the Baramati Trust, they are always involved in all these grape activities or the agriculture activities in Maharashtra. They are doing the best in the world here to showcase the entire grape community or the agriculture community in India or Maharashtra.
Now, you had the initials earlier, KVK. What does it mean, KVK?
KVK is the Krushi Vikas Kendra. These are the some of the institutes which are developed by the government of India under the leadership of Agriculture Minister Mr. Sharad Pawar, who is actually the founder of this association, Mr. KVK, and he has developed this in all the country. This is actually taking care for the extension activities. I mean, the research work which is carried out in the universities is extended, or the extension work is done by these KVKs. This is the basic thing what the KVKs are doing.
Yeah, this is a really interesting part for the people of the United States, where we have the land-grant universities, and they have cooperative extension service, and they share the best ideas, the best techniques, and the research going out to the people across the United States. And it's interesting to see that you have a very established development through the KVK as the cooperative outreach in India. Tell us a little bit about your association, how long it's been in existence, and as the former chairman and now the treasurer of your Maharashtra State Grape Growers Association, what do you actually provide as services to your members?
This is the association which is formed in late 40s. It is now 57 years old. And many of the growers which are in Maharashtra, they are member of this association. We have 30,000 members, and the total acreage we have in our association under cultivation of grapes is nearly 3 lakh acres. 3 lakh acres. We are giving to to service to the growers in terms of all the research activities we have. We have approved by the government of India under this research activities. It is zero registration we have. Government is given us a recognition for that. Apart from that, extension is the main concern we have. Because a lot of research work which is carried out in the rest of the world or in India, to the growers we are giving all these research activities to their doorstep. And for all the things which we are looking in Maharashtra, for this in terms of this mechanization, in terms of all these new varieties, in exports, in the processing sector, our association is the key holding we have.
Yeah, it's very interesting to note that grapes is becoming the new cash crop in India, sold into the local markets, and also you're developing a very active export market for grapes, and the first beginnings of wine being produced in India, which is very interesting. So looking at the grapes, how are the Indians accepting grapes as part of their meals, and also the idea of being able to export this abroad?
Yes, our domestic consumption is very strong because how much is the quantity we are producing is entirely consumed in India only. Domestic is very strong. From that, 7 to 8% of the grapes, approximately 2 lakh metric tons of grapes we are exporting. It is going to UK, Europe, and many of the Eastern Asian countries, and all the where we are exporting now.
Now, looking at India as a market for, because you're looking to grow the grapes organically, and it's a great movement here in India to go to more and more organic foods. What do you see for the future of organics in India?
Lot of future we have, because when you people are looking for the organics, and when this revolution is started, surely days to come, only India will give a lot of strength to the world also in organics. That is our promise.
Looking at India as a domestic market, I know that India is very internationalized, and you actually now have the largest middle class population of about 375 million people in India considered true middle class. So how is that affecting and impacting the types and varieties of foods that are now being produced in India?
Varieties of fruits, exactly we will not say, but about the grapes I will tell you. All these resin productions or the byproducts, we have a lot of people are accepting all these products now. Domestically we people are producing at least 2 lakh metric tons of resins also, grape resins. All that resins are consumed only domestically. We have not interested to export it today. But all the produce we are having domestically resins, it is all organic.
Now looking at the movement towards organics, are you finding the products that you need to switch from chemical fertilizers, chemical insecticides and pesticides, and you're able to grow the grapes more organically?
That depends, because it is the matter of debate now. What you are going to apply to the soil is the different thing. But what you are going to spray for the maintenance of the disease and pest management, it depends upon the soil. It depends upon all your particular climatical conditions. 1 year we have to spray less. If the climate gets worsened, when the grape is a cash crop, lot of investment in that. To maintain that all those things, we have to go for the sprayings for the disease and pest management. It is the need. But looking to the availability of the availability of the pesticides and chemicals in the mind, there are a lot of new generation chemicals which are in the market. They are giving a lot of strength, and residues we have taken a lot of care. We are not concerned about that. Anywhere you go in India and ask for these grapes, you will get residue free. It is the work done by our association only. We are very much clear, and government of India has given this particular grape net, and all the things we have done with the help of this government of India and late agriculture minister, last agriculture minister, Mr. Sharad Pawar. He has done a lot to survive this industry and given strength for the exports and for the resin productions, everything only because of that person, I will tell you, Mr. Pawar.
Looking at your association, you have, again, how many members? And then how do they actually become members of your association? And then what types of services do you actually provide directly to the grape growers?
Yes, that is also the thing, because unless and until grape growers will unite, they will not survive. Because when this particular grape industry, grape business is started, lot of growers are coming together only for the survival. Because getting knowledge from the rest of the world and from getting knowledge from the people who are actually working is the main thing now. Because a lot of expertise is coming up now. In rest of the world, you are getting a lot of expertise. But where we stand today is also the thing. So that all the people are coming to to the association for getting what is there in rest of the world today.
Now, how many members do you have? And then they're coming to gather the information, the expertise, the knowledge that you're gleaning around the world. What does the association do to be sure to reach out on a regular basis to the members?
We have 30,000 members. For those people, we are regularly doing seminars. We are asking the expertise from the rest of the world also. All the eminent scientists who are working in grapes in rest of the world, they are the invitees to we people. We are calling those people for the seminars and all this to give lectures to the growers. To update the knowledge of our growers is the great thing we are doing. Because unless and until our growers will go to the world standard, they will not do anything. And we are very much self-sufficient now, because whatever we are doing the best in the world. That is, I will promise.
Yeah, and the whole thing about it, visiting your headquarters, you have your own research laboratory, so you're actually doing testing of the quality of the grapes. Also, you're doing testing as far as the inputs, as far as fertilizers and insecticides, pesticides. And the fact is that you're actually looking for alternatives to go to organics. What is some of the feedback that you're getting from your members as far as the services that you're offering? And then how do your members view the association helping them to expand their production in the future?
That is also the thing. Growers are involved in all the activities. For them, we are importing some of the chemicals which are import substitute, which are not available in India, which are not produced in India. For maintenance of those chemicals is the major thing. The chemicals which are affecting directly to the quality of the grapes, we are importing all those chemicals. Those things are very much important. On the part, I will say that if the particular thing is affecting the quality of the grapes, we are giving a lot of strength to the growers, and that we are doing.
Thank you for being with us. Thank you for being with us as we come from Maharashtra state and the country of India as we create the Emerald Planet.
Every time I hear the alarm bell go off in school, I think it's an air raid.
A lot of houses in our neighborhood have been destroyed. I like to close my ears and sing songs whenever the bombs come close.
I'm worried our new neighbors won't like us.
But I know it's all gonna be worth it. I just want my family to be safe. But these are not my words.
These are not my words.
These are not my words.
Listen to smoke before you give it a try. Only you. Don't play with matches. Don't play with fire. Cause there's nothing very funny about ring-top money. Nothing very nice on a homeless mind. So if a gorgeous force is what you desire, don't play with matches. Don't play with fire.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Fire.
How far would you go to protect the planet?
I want you to build an ark.
Here we go. Okay, that's good. Oh, okay. Ow!
Maybe there's another way.
People, the flood is imminent!
Is it too much to ask for a little precipitation?
Go to fightglobalwarming.com to find out what you and your community can do to reduce global warming pollution.
When it comes to saving money,
What?
don't act like a baby.
Oh, it's like they're having their own little meeting. This is so humiliating.
Be the boss.
I'm the boss.
What the?
Power nap. You were saying.
And make a budget.
Let's get to work.
Need a little help?
Stacy, read back the notes.
I can't read.
What's it say?
Create a personalized savings plan and get other tools and tips
We can share.
You obviously didn't go to business school.
at feedthepig.org.
It takes less than 1 minute to find out if you may have prediabetes, and you can do it here. So what are you waiting for? Just go to the site.
Places, everybody.
Light check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Everything looks good on our end.
And lights.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
We're back to the Emerald Planet. Here again, your host, Dr. Sam.
Hello, I'm Dr. Sam Hancock of Emerald Planet TV. We're coming to you live from Maharashtra State and the great country of India. And we're in Baramati, which is the center as far as the agricultural demonstrations and also EXPO. There's over 110 acres here, all about every kind of best practice in agriculture. But one that we don't really think about is social media, and how social media is impacting in a very positive way the agricultural community as far as the social connection, but also the exchange of ideas and the best practices that we're talking about. So standing right beside me is a PhD. This is Dr. Vigyan Shinde. He is the founder of Krishi Samapan Group. And welcome to the Emerald Planet TV.
Thank you, sir. Myself, Dr. Vinayak Shinde. Nowadays, everyone using the social media, but not one using the in good manners. We are taking farmers to the social media for their good agriculture practices.
I think this is absolutely a fantastic idea, and something that you and I were joking about at the very beginning, and I'm going to ask you about at the very end, is the social media dating site for farmers, because you have the same situation in India as in the United States and most other countries, that many women do not want to marry, or men don't want to marry into farming communities. But tell us, why did you actually start this special social media for farmers in India?
Social media is a very active social service nowadays, and farmers do not have the social good agriculture practice. This resulting in the increase in their inputs and costing of the cultivation. We are supporting farmers by all the ways we have, by providing them good cultural practices, or providing them easy market, or providing them the sellers in their farms only.
Yeah, I'll just summarize just a little bit. What you're saying is that because they're not connected, many times they're actually paying too much for the inputs for growing their crops. They're getting poor sales in many cases because they're not connected to the marketplace, and they don't really have long-term security because they're not using the best practices. So by the fact of you actually having this social media, you're allowing them to learn and connect for the best practices. Is that correct, what you're sharing with me? Looking at this, what is the acceptance as far as farmers are concerned to becoming part of the social media phenomena in India?
Farmers are very good in their agriculture, but they are weak in minimizing their costing. We are providing the practices which minimizes their costing of cultivation, and they are very weak in marketing of their goods. We are providing the marketing channel in their field only, and in Indian or Marathian farmers is not united in business. We are focusing on agriculture as business only.
So what you're saying is that the farmers are, in a sense, too independent, and so they're not sharing the best practices, or they're not sharing with each other about the market opportunities, also how to best grow their crops. So through all of this, you're allowing them then to really be connected to others that have an interest in improving themselves and also improving agriculture. But you talked about marketing. Why is marketing so important through social media for farmers?
Social media is a very fast growing marketing channel in these days, and it is free. We are using internet for our personal benefits. Then why do not we are using this internet for marketing of our goods? We are focusing to the new generation of farmers for getting in farming field. As you before said that no one wants to marry with agriculture farmer or farmer sons. We have changing the view of society to view of society about the farmers.
Yeah, this is one thing that we've seen across Asia. I've been at this for a number of years, that in Taiwan, Japan, Korea, places they had the same problem, but yet the incomes over the years started to increase because of best practices and networking through farmers cooperatives and other ways, and so they were able to lower the cost, increase the quality of their goods, and at the same time increase their incomes. So once you do that, how are the farmers that are in this network sharing so that actually everybody is having increased incomes almost at the same time?
We are giving scientific articles depending on the season, and if any farmers have trouble in their cultivation, he or she providing us the photographs of their field or crop. We are giving the solution on that crop. About 150,000 farmers are connected with social media by our groups. We are divided groups in by the division of different districts, which are divided in according to the agroclimatic zones.
So what you're doing then is you're actually being able to match people that are, let's say they're doing corn or they're doing tomatoes or whatever it is, so you can match them according to the category of farming, but also it could be the soil types, or it could be the amount of rainfall and those types of things. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So looking at these differences, what is the commonality? I think you told me you have about 200,000 farmers that are currently in part of your social media. You want to grow it in a year to 1 million, so this is big growth. So what's the commonality across all of this that you're finding, no matter if they're doing vegetables or they're doing row crops or they're doing maybe other kinds of crops, maybe even bee keeping and things like that? What's common across all these farmers? What do you see?
They are following the traditional agriculture. They have to support their farm by any farm business. For that purpose, I want to say processing industry or dairy farming, apiculture. These are the potential agriculture business. Farmers have to support their farm by these agriculture businesses.
Now, one of the things as far as the Baramati here, as far as the agricultural demonstrations and expo, is that the intercropping and integrated crops. In other words, you're doing melons with corn, with soybeans, peanuts, and maybe also sugarcane. How are the farmers sharing across crops so that I'm doing dairy, but all of a sudden you're saying, well, if you grow flowers and tomatoes, then you have, more regular income coming in and maybe diversify your income. How can you do that?
Intercropping decreases their cultivation practice, cost of cultivation, and as the cost of cultivation decreases, the benefits will increase, and finally the lifestyle of farmer will be high, and this is our final motto. We want to increase the lifestyle of our farmer, Indian farmer.
Yeah. So I guess this is one of the things that's going across the world right now is that the new green jobs actually is in agriculture, right? It makes sense, but yet many people are just discovering this. And as I've talked with people before, we think of America or Brazil as being very wide open spaces, but yet 80% in America, 87% of the Brazilians live in cities. So how can you share the message of farming as not just a good life, but it's a great life, and it's something that more people should do?
Agriculture have the most potential in all businesses. There is no limitations as compared to other businesses. As Indian climate is very suitable for agriculture. But the consultancy and government policies are destroying the agriculture of Indian agriculture. We are changing the view of society to the farmers.
So in reaching out to them, how are you helping to increase the support from consumers in urban areas to, as you're talking about government policy or financing for agriculturalists? How are you changing and exciting the urban people to be more supportive of the farmings?
We are focusing on residue-free food, and we are breaking the channel of marketing channel. We are providing the foods from farmers' field to the consumer directly, which decreases the marketing cost.
So what you're doing is you're looking at the complete supply chain, linking them. So in America we call it, and I think you have the same phrase here, is farm to fork. And so you have the same phenomena here?
Yes.
Okay. Now, how do you see that? And we're almost out of time, but how do you see that encouraging urban people to become much more conscious and much more supportive of the farmers?
Yes. Nowadays in Indian urban population, the number of diseases are increased because of the excessive use of chemicals in farming. We are providing them goods which are finally we are providing them the good health. Indirectly we are providing them good health by providing residue free food.
Yeah, I want to repeat that because I think it's very important, is that you want to have residue-free food so you don't have the traces of the chemicals from the fertilizers, the insecticides, or the pesticides, and at the same time you're having the farmers move more to organic farming and using all natural premises to do that. So thank you for being with us. This is really a very interesting topic, social media in the farming community. And I was going to ask you the question about the farmers dating website. I think that's something that you ought to think very seriously about. And thank you for being with us as we come to you live from Maharashtra State in India as we look around the globe to create the Emerald Planet.